A tea kettle. What if I invented a tea kettle so that the spout opened and closed when the steam came out, and it could whistle pretty melodies or do Shakespeare or just crack up with me? I could have a tea kettle that sings in Dad's voice so I could fall asleep at night. I could have a tea kettle that sings Yellow Submarine, which is a song by the Beatles, who I love. Anyway, I've only ever been in a limousine once. It was terrible. I wanted to stop by the school so all my friends could see me in a limousine, but Mom said that school wasn't on the way and we couldn't be late to the cemetery. It was just me and Mom and Grandma. Mom's friend Ron didn't come with, which made me happy. Once I asked Mom if she was in love with Ron. She said, Ron is a great guy, which is the answer to a question I didn't ask. She said that Ron was just a friend and that sometimes people needed friends. But I wanted to tell her that she shouldn't be hanging out in the living room with him just yet, or looking in the mirror, or playing Scrabble and laughing too loud. It wasn't fair to Dad, and it wasn't fair to me. Anyway, what about a birdseed chart? There are so many times when humans need to make a quick escape, but we don't have our own wings, or not yet anyway, so what about a birdseed chart? I started inventing things about a year ago. Even a year after the worst day, I still have an extremely difficult time doing certain things, like going on elevators. And I'm still really scared of suspension bridges and tall buildings and bad without others. A lot of the time I get this feeling like I'm in the middle of a deep, dark ocean or in the middle of deep space. But not in a fascinating way. It's just that everything feels incredibly far away from me. So I started inventing things. And then I couldn't stop, like beavers, which I know about. People think that beavers keep on chewing wood so that they can build dams, but I know it's because their teeth keep on growing and they grow really long, and if they didn't constantly file them down by chewing wood, they'd grow into their faces, which would kill them. That's how my brain was. When my dad was still around, I didn't have to invent a thing. Being with him made my brain quiet. On the night before the worst day, we sat on the couch together, and he read the New York Times and whistled I Am the Walrus. I loved having a dad who was smarter than the New York Times. And I loved how he always smelled like sheep, even at the end of the day. What about a building that stayed in place while the elevator moved the building up and down? That way, if you wanted to go to the 95th floor, the 95th floor would come to you. Also, that could be extremely useful because if a plane hits the building below you, it could bring you to the ground, and you could be safe, even if you left your birdseed shirt at home that day. Can I tell you something I've never told anyone else? On that day, the worst day, they let us out of school basically as soon as we got there. They didn't really tell us anything, just that something bad had happened. We didn't get it, I guess. We didn't get that something bad could happen to us. So I walked out, and the apartment was so empty, so quiet. I checked the answering machine, and the light was blinking. There were 3 messages. They were all from my dad. Message 1, 8:32 a.m. Hello? Is anyone there? Listen, something's happened. I don't want you to be worried. I just wanted to call so that you knew I was okay. If you're home, please call me back. I'll call again soon. Just don't worry, all right? What if you had to water skyscrapers and play classical music to them and know if they liked summer shade? Message 2, 9:32 a.m. Hello? It's Dad. Listen, if you're there, please call me back. Things are starting to get a little crazy. They're telling us to just wait for the first responders, but I'd like to talk to you. Is anyone home? What about A device on top of ambulances that knew everyone you knew. So if it detected someone you knew in the ambulance, a big sign on the roof could flash, "Don't worry, I'm okay. Don't worry." What if you could rate the people by how much you love them? So if the ambulance detected the person you loved most in there, and the person in the ambulance was dying, a big sign on the roof could flash, "Goodbye. I love you. Goodbye." Message 3. 9:52 a.m. Hello? Is anyone there? Hello, can you hear me? Is somebody home? Sorry, things are starting to get crazy. There's smoke all around. People are starting to get worried. If you're there, please call me back. Hello? Why didn't we say goodbye? Why didn't we say, "I love you"? I listened to the messages. And then the phone. It was 10:22. I checked the caller ID, and it was Dad. And I couldn't pick up the phone. I just couldn't do it. It rang, and I couldn't stand up. He started yelling, "Are you there? Are you there? Are you there?" He needed me, and I just couldn't pick up the phone. I couldn't do it. "Are you there?" he asked 11 times. I know because I've counted. It's one more than I can count on my fingers. He didn't say goodbye. He didn't say, "I love you." There are 15 seconds between the third and fourth time he asked. You can hear people screaming in the background, and you can hear glass breaking, which makes me wonder if people were jumping. "Are you there? Are you there? Are you..." I've timed the message. And it's 1 minute and 34 seconds. Which means it ended at 10:24. Which was on the building. I don't believe in God, but I believe that things are extremely complicated. What about bigger pockets? Enormous pockets. Pockets that are big enough for our family and our friends and even the people we don't know yet, but still want to protect. We could have pockets for cities and pockets for countries and even a pocket that could hold the universe. Maybe that way, no one has to lose anyone.